Thank you. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Maliyah Kimble Show. I'm your host, Maliyah Kimble, and I know you guys have probably been wondering where are the videos. Well, I recently just started my sophomore year at CAS, so I've been trying to adjust to being a sophomore now. And I'm also a teenager, so I've been, enjoying my life, going to football games and stuff. But today I am giving you guys a new episode. So we'll be right back with the episode right after this. So for my guest today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with the Annie Nichols. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So can you share a little bit about yourself to my viewers and my audience?
Hey, well, like you said, my name is Annie Nichols, and I've been in the nursing field for 30 years. I raised 11 children. 10 of them graduated, and one I'm waiting on to graduate. I have 5 children of my own. Unfortunately, my oldest son, which is AJ, he was murdered on January the 31st of 2023.
And can you talk a little bit about the situation? Can you share as much as you can because I know it's still an ongoing investigation. So can you just share what you can?
Like I said, he was murdered on January the 31st of 2023. When he was murdered, it didn't just take him, it took the whole family. Grief really breaks the whole family. And I would never, ever be the same again.
And can you talk a little bit about how this has affected your life, like how you live your everyday life?
I notice a big change in my personality. For everybody that knows me know that I'm jittery, I'm happy all the time. I notice that a piece of my heart is left where my son was found at. And it really tears a person apart. For the people that's out there not thinking of what you're doing or whatever, you don't realize how that affects the whole family. It tears a family apart.
And what have you been doing to deal with the situation?
Well, for me to cope for almost 2 years, music. Music has really helped me. And everybody knows that Anita Baker has really got me through this, and Yolanda Adams in the midst of the all. Other than that, I belong to a group, mothers that lost their sons, and I talked to several people. I went to therapy because I refused to try to be on medication.
And what about your work life? How has your work life been?
Well, I had to cut down work because it was very stressful. I went in, every time I went to work, it was always I was breaking down and had to be sent home. So I cut my days from 10 to 4 because it's hard for me to work and concentrate.
And can you talk a little bit about the things you do, for yourself to, just make sure your mental health and everything is good?
Well, I just recently got back into my stage plays and doing movies, which, I enjoy. I enjoy being in front of the camera. But yes, that helps me to cope.
And can you talk a little bit about how you got into acting and stuff?
Well, I went to a stage play. I think the name of it was Danger at My Door, and they was offering auditions. So I went and I auditioned, and I sung for them, and they asked me to come back and It's been like 7 years that I've been doing stage plays and movies.
And can
I
you,
have, excuse me, I have two on Tubi at this moment. There's Danger at My Door and Confessions.
and can you share a little bit about your son, AJ?
Well, AJ, where do I start? In the beginning, when I was pregnant, the doctor advised me to get an abortion because I had caught chickenpox at 2 months pregnant. So my mom came to me and she was like, well, the doctor is not God. And so all while I was carrying my son, I was scared. I was actually scared to deliver him. So once I delivered him, he was a healthy young man. I mean, he was an average teenager. Once he graduated from high school, he went to Florida to culinary school. He came back and he cooked at the most beautiful and restaurants. His last job was downtown. A lot of people probably ate his food. He was downtown at Lumium. So up until he, got murdered. I don't like that word, but up until he got murdered, my son was a very respectable young man. He blessed me with two beautiful grandkids. I'm going to treasure for the rest of my life.
And what do you do like with your family to make sure like everyone's okay and the family stays together?
Well, I try to keep in contact with people and call and check on them because I know it's not just me hurting. I know it affects the whole family, like I said before. And I try to have family gatherings and just laugh and talk. Yeah.
And when it comes to like you having like bad days, what are some things that help you on your bad days?
On my bad days, I don't like to admit this, but I just recently started listening to Yolanda Adams in the midst of it, and she helps me. It's every time I have a bad day, I put that song on, and it helps me so much because I break down a lot. Yeah.
And do you like have any advice for like people who may be going through the same thing that you're going through?
Yes. Stay strong, and whatever you feel like is your scapegoat, please do it. Don't allow nobody to give you a time because it's not a time on grief. Can't nobody tell you that, oh well, you shouldn't be crying at 6 months and this is just no. It's no expiration date at all. So whatever you feel that is your scapegoat, please do it. Mine is music and doing stage plays and movies.
And can you talk a bit about like how working with movies and plays and stuff has been now since back then?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. In the beginning, it was it was just so beautiful. It came natural. It was me. Now it's like if it's a phrase, grief, Alzheimer's, because I forget a lot. I really do. I forget a lot. So, like I said, I don't know if it's a such thing as grief, Alzheimer's, or dementia, but yes, a brain freeze.
And since you're like working in nursing, how do you feel like nursing has affected you in the past couple of years?
Actually, I feel like my residence is my therapy, and they they love me, and I love them, And I think that's probably why I didn't take off work when that happened, because I needed them. I needed them. Just like they needed me, I needed them.
And do you feel like when people go through certain things, what should be like their initial reaction when they go through a certain thing in their life?
Um, Repeat that again.
So when you go through something, your initial reaction, sometimes it can be rage, sometimes it can be sadness. How should they deal with that?
Well, actually, you can't tell anybody on how to react. Like, since I've been in the group, my reaction is different from a lot of people' reaction. You understand what I'm saying? Like certain things that I wouldn't do, they did. So it's you can't really tell nobody how to react or how they're gonna act in a time like that.
Okay. So we're gonna go to break and we'll be right back after this.
Okay.
Okay, and now can you share a few memories of AJ?
Oh, where do I start? When he was a little boy, he used to always he used to always hug me and tell me he was the man of the house. And I used to think that was so funny. And even though I was married, he was like, I'm the man of the house. And then as he got older, being a teenager, so it's a lot of memories, a lot. But my greatest memory was the last time that I was with my son, was on my 50th birthday. And I got dressed for my 50th birthday party. And he said, because he don't go to parties or whatever. So he said, I'm coming to this party on your 50th birthday. I'm coming to this party because I'm going to be your bodyguard. Right? So I was laughing or whatever. And we had a ball. And he was supposed to be my designated driver. But I wind up being his, so it was really nice. It was, and I thank God that he did celebrate my 50th birthday with me, because that was the last birthday he spent with me.
And you talked earlier about being in stage plays and movies. So if there's anyone out there who wants to get into that, what is some advice you have for them?
To always, because God gave you talent, don't hide it. Always bring it out. Bring it out. Somebody might see you and want to, they want to come for you to God, just don't hide your talent. Don't hide it. Please don't hide your talent.
Okay, and then for my last question, what is some things or like some tips you should give to people on how to treat people with grief or dealing with grief?
I have a couple that that I would like for people to know. One of them is, please don't be afraid to talk to me about my son. My child lived and was very important to me. It comforts me to know that he was important to you too. My child is pretty much always on my mind. You're not going to remind me that my son is gone. And if I cry when you speak of my child, it isn't because you have hurt me. My child's death is the cause of my tears. You have talked about my child and allowed me to share grief. And I thank you for that. And one more is, please don't expect my grief to be over in 6 months or even a year. The early months may be the most traumatic for me, but please understand that grief will never fully end until the day I'm reunited with my child in heaven. And don't really want my pain to completely go away. It hurts me. Feel connected to my son. When you ask me how I'm doing, that was a really hard question for me to answer. I will probably tell you I'm fine or I'm doing okay, but neither one of us has enough time for me to fully, accurately answer the question.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. And we're going to go to a break and we'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Pastor Rodell Endeluz of Elam Restoration Ministries, and this is my wife,
Charisma Endeluz.
So Elam is a church that is not like any other churches. We are composed of people that literally were imperfect at one time and live lives differently than people that grew up in churches. One of the things I love, and our motto here is that we are a restoration church. We like to get people to the place where they are restored to the purpose that God has called them to be in. So you'll hear people say, I'm Elam, because that is exactly what we are. We have been restored to fulfill the calling that God has put upon our lives. My wife and I, we have this vision of seeing people from different races, from different parts of the world, just being restored, getting to know who God wants them to be. And I'm really excited about that.
One of the things that I love about Elam Restoration Ministry is that we are a family church. I absolutely love the people that attend this church. They're caring, they're loving, they are in it with you for the long haul. Another thing that I love about Elam is that we're a mission-minded church. We're here to reach the lost, not only in America, but across the nation. Our goal is to win the world for Jesus Christ. If you're hurting, if you feel lost, if you feel like you have hopelessness and despair, Elam Restoration is the place for you.
Not just that, if you feel like you're tired of being judged for what you wear or how you feel or what you look like, or you want to be in a position where you have a relationship with God, not necessarily a religion, but a relationship, then this is the place for you. Just like everybody else, we want to make sure you're a part of a restoration process. That way you can get to the place where God wants you to be. Come to Elam.
We are Elam.
I am Elam.
I am Elam.
I am 93 and I am Elam.
We are Elam.
We are Elam. I am Elam. We are Elam.
We are Elam.
We are Elam.
Good evening. If anybody was in the area of Iris and Orange Line on January the 31st of 2023, and you have any information on what happened to my son, Anthony Henderson Jr., can you please contact the Detroit police? You can be anonymous. Please help me. I need answers.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I also want to give a shout out to MERS Production, and I want to thank them for allowing me to be in their new upcoming film. Also, if you want to check out some of their films that are already out on Tubi, you can check it out on Tubi. One of them is called Love All Over Me, and the other one is Confessions. And like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe.